Hey guys, welcome to another review. I am Mr. P, and today we are doing a mechanical mod. Whoop, whoop. What we are doing today is the copper penny clone from Big G over at the Facebook group, or I'm addicted to this 5HIT on eBay. His links will be down there. Well, a link to my Facebook group and obviously a link to his eBay will be down there. So copper penny, lovely. So a bit of information about it, guys. First of all, it's a clone, obviously. So copper penny clone, 22mm mech mod, awesome source. Obviously 18650 only, no other options with this bad boy. Pardon me. Grant was charging 30 quid delivered for this mod, full copper, the whole lot, everything, copper, lovely. So that's what we're doing today. So I think first things first, what I'm going to do is bung it on a table, let you have a quick look at it, show you about her, and then come back up to me and have a nice little vape. What's going on, guys? A quick little close-up of the penny clone that I got from Big G. Obviously, you know, I'll get all them links and shit done for you. So, yep, penny clone is what we're doing. Right, so let's get straight in. Have a little look around her. Top cap completely flush, no air paths for your, 510 air fed atomizers. So, you know, you're out like if you do use one of them. Full copper, there's not a thing in this that isn't copper apart from insulators. I'll show you that. So down here we've got makers markings there, so the clone haters, you can go on and hate, it's there. All right. Serial 136, it's very hard to read. There you go, 136 down there. This is a little bit dirty. I have given it a slight polish with a bit of water salt, but copper just takes that dirt like a madman. And then in the bottom you've got your 1 cent. So this should be called the centie, not the penny, but you've got the 1 cent United States of America land, and I do want to say no pennies were harmed in the making of this mod. So let's take it apart. Tube section, all copper, everything, nothing's not on copper. You've just seen what's on it. That's covered, done, lovely. Top cap, right, as I say, no adjustable, no air paths cut for your bottom fed atomizers, but to be honest, they're fairly uncommon. And then you've got a Chi-Yu style adjustment here, so you've got your top adjustment there, which is actually pretty stiff on this. So if I grab my pliers, there you go, you can see it undoes. It will wear in over time. I haven't had to adjust it loads, to be honest, because the 8 I've been using with this sits down. And then you've got your second battery rattle adjustment there, all copper contacts, no plating, pure copper going on here, so that's pretty cool. These are knurled to make undoing them easier. It doesn't work in the case of the top one. Okay. And then we go down here into the switch. So the switch, like I say, penny, this button, there's your contact. There it is, just sticking out there. Reverse threaded locking ring. Okay. I've noticed if you do this all the way up, so if I do that all the way up, this connection there, when I push it, we don't get a fire happening. Okay. It's just a case of nothing comes up. So you have to leave that slightly off in order to make it so when you do push the button, that happens. Okay. I would recommend sticking a little tiny very thin o-ring under there if possible. You've got your contact there again, copper, and you've got a bit of vent in there underneath that contact. You can just see the hole there in case you are unfortunate enough to have that battery vent on you. So what I'm going to do, let's take this switch apart and see what's going on in there. So we'll undo our contact here. Most of these switches are fairly simple nowadays. They're all very much the same. Okay, so we're spring in here and not magnet. Okay, we are spring reacted button, reverse thread locking ring, and then we've just got a solid little chunk of copper going on here. So your battery, make sure your battery insulation is sufficient sitting up on there. We have had some batteries that are completely open at the bottom, Panasonics for example, and they would continuously fire on this. But that's fairly simple stuff, to be honest, so nice. I like it when it's simple because it means if something goes wrong, it's not hard to narrow down what that something may well be. Don't be a knob, put your locking ring back on first and don't forget your reverse threaded. Stick your spring and your penny switch back in, and then grab your contact and give her a little screw down. Now I always like to really screw these down so there's no chance of the mod undoing as I'm using it, but unfortunately I'm going to have to, a little bit of adjustment to be done there, nothing major, We're talking about that much. So you know, basically 2 turns on the contact. So that means I should be able to get a thin O-ring under that, and that would stop the button undoing on me, and also means I would have a nicer push, or a shorter throw at least. When it comes to sticking that back together, fairly simple stuff. Screw in there. This is a brushed finish, so I mean you can probably make that out, guys. Brush finish on this penny. To be honest, I much prefer a polished finish. So when this close-up is done, it may well be meeting the drill before I come back up to me. That's how he got him to do it. Failing that, it will be done very shortly after. A picture will be on Facebook, along with a few other guys who have done theirs. Battery in, very simple stuff. Now, adjusting for battery out on this is not too hard, because basically the contact needs to be up as high as it can go, which might be an issue if you've got a narrow 510 connection on your atomizer, and then screw it down. Obviously you've got loads of battery rattle adjustment there. You know, that pin, unlike, you know, a couple of mods that have come this way, where the pins have been a bit too short depending on the length of the AT, this has got loads and loads of adjustment in there for battery rattle, to be honest. So we don't even have to go anywhere near as much as that, and we're just there. Now I will give this a little fire. No, I will not. In fact, I was using a custom top cap with this the other day. Yes, and I've got a ridiculous build in there. This battery's not rated for that, so I won't be pushing that button. I take it back. Let's lock it off. But a very quick close-up of the copper pen with the copper Mephisto on top. I don't like that drip tip. I'll change that in a minute. But coming up to me now, guys, I can have a nice little vape and a chat about this mod. Right, guys, there you go. So, copper penny, as you see in the close-up, brush finish like that, 510 connected, no air paths for your air-fed atomizers. I can't think of any air-fed atomizers I'll be running on this, so for me, not really a problem. Double adjustment for 510 and battery rattle, awesome source. Obviously, penny on the switch, where it gets its name from. The switch is the only thing really for me. It needs an O-ring under there, because I like not having to tighten my button up now and again, and I know it's a now and again thing, and this isn't as bad for it as some that I've had. The 26650 Hades springs to mind, but still, sure enough, it's something that I have to do, and it does gripe me. You know, you go to fire it and there's nothing there, and then you've got to play with your button. That does me in. I mean, I got this to run this copper sleeve Mephisto one, and I think that's, you know, that's for me why I did it. Basically, Grant had it there. He said to me I could have it for review, and I said okay then, fair enough. So this was free for review. It's not going to change anything. It's a hard hitter. This is. Because of the copper, the whole copper, and nothing but the copper, it definitely delivers under load. That's the main thing I've noticed about this, even above the switch annoying me. That's the main thing I've noticed about this, is that it does most certainly hit hard. Other than that, you know, it's a very inoffensive mod. There's very little going on here. I mean, it's a very plain mod. You've got your bit of logo in there, a serial down here, and the penny on the bottom, which you very rarely see. You know, reverse threaded locking ring, I do like that. Sits up, no problem, no firing. But it's very inoffensive and very simple, and I like that. I like how simple. Sorry guys, technical issue, but yes, very simple mod, and I like that about this mod. Actually, this is the only copper mod I own. Need to get more, I guess, but you know, I think it's easy on the eye for me, and that's a good thing. I suppose whilst we're talking about easy on the eye, we're kind of covering the looks of it, aren't we? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delve into the 5-point hit list, and then obviously anything relevant should be peeking its head during that. First of all, looks. It's going to depend entirely on your preference, as looks always does. But for me, like I say, I like how simple it is. I like the flat top at the, you know, at the end, you know, where there's very little that can be interfering with anything in terms of looks. The penny on the bottom, I could take it or leave it, to be honest with you. I mean, it's got to have it because that's what the mod's named after. But if that was just a flat brass bottom, wouldn't bother me whatsoever. The logoing on the front's done quite well, you know, engraved, properly engraved, and not laser etched or whatever they like to do. And I do like that too. Serial 136, lovely. It's the brush finish. I think I'm going to get this bad boy on a drill, if I'm perfectly honest with you, and polish this up like a wrong. And I said I might do it before I come back up here. I didn't, but I will do. Looks for me is a 10. I like how it looks. I like the fact it's copper, and unlike some other copper mods that I've used but don't own, it doesn't stink. You know, that's one of the main drawbacks for me of the copper mods, is that you never know when you get them until you get them that it's going to make your hand smell like a bloody plumber. This doesn't do that, so I do like that. So looks for me is getting a 10. Usability is next. Usability is fairly simple. It's 18650 only, so there's nothing to worry about there. The top cap, the 510 contact is a bit stiff, and it still is a bit stiff. It's going to take some serious wearing in, so bear that in mind. I mean, if you're on the fly and you're trying to change that and you've got nothing to help you tighten that, it can be quite hard on the fingers. That knurling on there does help it grip, but it's very sort of tough knurling, and you're really having to turn it. So I suppose that's a little knock there. Other than that, battery rattle is fairly easy to adjust for. The switch is easier to adjust and easy to take apart. Usability, I'm going to give it a 9.5, purely because of how tight that top contact is, and it is very bloody tight. I've got big hands. I'm not a wuss when it comes to doing things up and whatever else, but it definitely takes some doing by hand anyway. So there you go. Maintenance of it, you're going to have to polish it. This thing got so dirty. I polished it before I come on camera, and it actually took me 3 polishes to get it back to somewhere close to what it was when I first picked it up from Grant. It takes the dirt and the patina a lot. It was very steampunk looking before I polished it. I wanted to polish it to show you what it came to me like. The steampunk look doesn't bother me. In fact, I quite like it, so I may let it really patina up and get sort of very dirty looking. But equally, I do like things to be very shiny. I'm having a battle of wills with myself here about what I want to do with this mod. But if you like it clean and shiny, you're going to have to polish it. If you want to give it a proper polish and make it a mirror finish, you're then going to have to polish it even more. So bear that in mind when it comes to maintenance. Other than that, clean your contacts, which is easy to do because they're easy to get to. Make sure your battery's charged. I'm going to give it a 9 because the polishing involved, which would be the same if it was brass. When it's stainless steel, it's not so much polishing as it is cleaning, unless it's a mirror finish. So yeah, that's 9 for maintenance. I don't think it's bad. As is the way with any of your equipment, you want it to look like new, you have to make it clean and look like new. Build quality and price, like I say, Grant was chucking these out at 30 quid delivered. Now that's a good price if you ask me. I've seen these available in other sort of UK vendors, like, you know, website and whole hoo-ha, and they were sort of a good 10 to 12 quid more than that before delivery. So for 30 quid delivered, pretty bargain if you ask me. The build quality, well, it's solid. It really is solid. It's copper's a fairly soft metal, so that is another thing that I was always worried about owning a copper mod, is how easy it would be for me to scratch and ding it. And I haven't had any problems with that. So, you know, with that bear in mind, build quality is going to get a 10. The only thing is that top adjustment and the switch. The switch is an easy fix. The top adjustment is something that will wear in, so nothing catastrophic in that regard. So 10. And as I say, I think the price is pretty good for 30 quid. So when you consider what you're getting for your 30 quid, I definitely think you're getting your money's worth. So spot on for that. Well done, Grant. Now, overall, reverse threaded, love it. Double adjustment, flat top, very subtle, non-offensive design and look to it. The copper's finished pretty well. It hits very hard. It's great for the cloud chasers, you know, with this Mephisto on top. This is a single coil, and that's what I'd consider to be an everyday setup. That's not even a stupidly low resistance coil. That's sort of about 0.8, and it's chucking it. So for that, my overall is going to be a 10. I actually quite like this thing. There's that switch that niggles me, but I'm willing to overlook that because it doesn't happen very often, and I know I can fix it. I just haven't done it up until this point, so I wanted to show you how I received it. Other than that, it's fucking spot on. It really is. Obviously, a big thanks to Grant for giving me this to review. And obviously a big thanks to all of you guys for watching me talk rubbish. Other than that, I think I'm pretty much done here, guys. So thank you very much for watching. I've been Mr. P. Shall see you soon.